Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.
Hello and welcome to the Pronunciation Pro podcast. My name is Annie Rudin and I'm here today with one of our Pronunciation Pro students, Karina Nepian Hutchinson. And she is from Russia and she has been such a fabulous student for us here at Pronunciation Pro. Just such a great attitude and such an incredible professional. She lives from Russia, lives in Australia, and I'll let her tell a little bit more about her journey here. But can you go ahead and introduce yourself, Karina, and let us know a little bit about you?
Hi, Annie. It's such a pleasure to be on your podcast. Thank you very much for all your kind words. Yes, I was your student, actually Lori's student, for 3 months. And I'm planning, that I have a break now because I'm preparing for my dental exam, and I'm coming back after the exam. So, in these 3 months of pronunciation course, they made a huge difference in my pronunciation, and I love it. And yes, I do live in Australia, but I'm originally from Russia. My husband is Australian. It is essential for me to talk in English.
Okay, good. So you're studying to be a dentist, and she has her exam that she's studying intensively for the next about a month and a half, a little bit more than a month and a half.
Yeah, it's an exam because I'm dentist already, but to work in Australia, you need to have Australian license. It's same like in America, National Dental Board exam.
Oh, okay.
So your exam, you prove your knowledge, you prove your skills, and after that you have your license. But also you need to pass English test. This is the next step of the exam.
Okay, wonderful. So you were like, okay, I need to prepare for this exam. We're gonna get into Pronunciation Pro, really get more clarity and confidence, right?
Yes.
And so tell us a little bit about how that process has been for you going through Pronunciation Pro and kind of that skill and confidence that's built through the process and in your experience with it.
Yeah. So I started with the English teachers. I had very nice English teachers, but one of the teachers, she told me that I have very, very Russian handwriting. So I couldn't understand what does it mean. And it was a little bit offensive. I thought, what does it mean to have Russian handwriting? Why is bad? And when we did some pronunciation, she always told me, oh, no, it's wrong. You need to say it different way. But I couldn't figure it out how I should pronounce the word. And I start looking for specific pronunciation courses. I don't remember, to be honest, how I came across your course, but I remember it was in my head, speech pathologist. It's not the English teachers, because you're not English teachers. You have English teacher, but you and Lori, you're speech pathologists. And I thought, this is what I need. And it was actually an amazing experience for me. When I start communication with you, and then I start my lessons with Lori. I love Lori so much. She's amazing. And I love each of our lessons. And she just made it so much easier for me. It wasn't like a hard work. It was joy. Every lesson, you prepare your audio, you prepare your text, you read out loud. And she fixes your mistakes, she corrects your mistakes, but in such a nice way. You don't afraid to make a mistake. Because for me, I was born in Soviet Union. It's very specific culture, especially when you're at school. And at school, I think one of your guests from Russia, she was talking about it. When you learn English at school, it doesn't mean that you know English. The main thing from school, I remember London is the capital of Great Britain. That's it. It's all my knowledge of English. And they don't teach you pronunciation. They teach you grammar. They teach you, you just read text, you translate text, but it's nothing about communication. So, but in your course, I got it. I got the correct pronunciation, and I love to talk to people. And my work, you can't work as a dentist without talking to people, without explaining about, for example, you came to me, you have a toothache. I need to explain to you. I need to talk to you. I need to put you at ease and then do all my treatment. So this is the way why I came to you and the reason.
Great. I love that. Yeah, Lori is fantastic. I'm glad you've had a good experience with her. And talk to me about kind of the confidence that was built along the way. Kind of how did your confidence in your speaking ability change as you went through the program?
You know, it's a funny thing. When I was talking to my husband, I felt quite confident because I never ever heard from him that I made mistake. When I said something wrong, he always encouraged me to talk, and he was and he's still very helpful in each side of my life. But when I was talking to other people who don't know my accent, and maybe they don't used to Russian accent or Western or East accent, and I felt that they couldn't understand me. And a specific words, why I was looking for American pronunciation, because in Australia, I think because of the history, it's more British influence and British accents. But some specific words for me, for example, verb we were. If I say in English, you would in American pronunciation, you would understand me. But if I say we were, this word were, and I thought, oh God, people don't understand me. I need to do something. And then I start thinking about pronunciation, and I thought American pronunciation would be better for me, so I can pronounce words, and I love the rhythm of the language, particularly about American English. And this is the way how I build my confidence. So you have a problem and you need to solve the problem. You even can have paper, pen, and you can write down what you can do to solve the problem, what you can do to solve. I think you talk about it a lot in your confidence course. Because when I'm listening to you, I said, oh, wow, I did it. Or I'm going to do it, what Annie was talking about. It's such a great tool. I can use it. It's actually very helpful. And especially when you take responsibility on yourself and you're thinking about, I can't fix what other people thinking about me, but I can fix what I'm thinking about myself and what I can do, what I can improve to be better. Even 1%, not 100% every day. But I can do each step. I can learn the correct pronunciation of one word. And I can say, oh, you did a great job today. Keep doing. You'll be perfect.
That's amazing. Yeah, that confidence really is built just 1%. You just do a little bit at a time and it will build over time. And so I love that you took that seriously and are retraining your mind at the same time you were retraining your mouth. So that's fantastic.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's great. So tell me a little bit about your background learning English and what led you to be able to come to this point in your life as far as your English development. I think it's interesting to kind of see, okay, how did you start learning English and how did that progress over time?
So the first reason, before I met my husband, I don't remember, I might tell you before that I never thought to move to other country. I thought I'll spend the whole my life in Russia. But my best friend Diana, she moved with her family to Australia, and I came to visit her. And when I started coming to visit her, I found that I don't know English. I can't talk to people. Everyone in Australia loves small talk. I can't participate in this small talk. And it hurt me. I want to talk, and I start learning English. And then I met my husband. And because he's Australian, he never learned Russian, so he didn't need it. And he couldn't speak Russian. Now he can speak some. It's easier for him to learn bad words rather than normal words. I think it's everyone. Yeah. And it was essential for me to learn English, to communicate. But my husband, he did an amazing job to understand me, especially in the beginning of our relationship. Sometimes I ask him, how did you understand me? Because I think it was impossible with my pronunciation and everything. But anyway, he did. Yeah. And I did learn Russian, but in Russia, we usually have Russian teachers who teach you English. So it's not the native speakers. And I love my Russian English teachers, but I noticed that this is a huge difference between native English teachers and Russian English teachers. So to communicate and to this flow, you need native English teacher. And then I came to Australia. I had my English native teachers, but they all were teachers, not speech pathologists. So it's a different, Annie. You know about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. When specialist tells you, Karina, look, you do this and this correct way, but this and this we need to improve. And the specialist physically shows you and tells you where your tongue needs to be, the position of your lips, everything. It makes a huge difference. I encourage everyone, not because I'm your student, but I encourage everyone who will be listening this podcast to come to you. If they don't want to come to you, but go to speech pathologist. I hope they will come to you anyway. Because it will make difference. And you know, do you remember your first, of course, you create all these lessons, but your first lesson about slow down and move your mouth. This lesson actually brought so much joy to our family because I was standing in the front of the mirror in our bathroom. It was move your mouth. And my husband asked me, what are you doing? I said, Annie, I'm doing Annie's homework. She told move my mouth. It was fun. And when you enjoy it and feel this fun when you do your work, it's not difficult. You just have fun. And you build this self-confidence. I was talking to Lori a lot about it. When you think about the learning process, not from the adult point of view, you are thinking as a child. Just let your inner child to enjoy what you are doing. Learning language is so much fun. Even when you don't know how to pronounce the word. But the way when you start talking to people, you can say, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's my second language. I'm learning English. Could you please help me? I don't know how to pronounce this word correctly, but it's my way to say." And you start talking to people, and people, they will help you. The native speakers, they could ask you about where you're from because of curiosity. Not because they want to judge you or your accent. I don't know. I think this way. And actually it helps me.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I love that you've had this attitude of like, okay, it's okay for me to make mistakes. It's okay for me to ask for help. And when you do that, it creates a lot of connection. with other people. You're being authentic, you're being real. Instead of holding back and just being quiet, you're engaging in a real authentic way that is sometimes messy because you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but that's exactly like you said, we have to take the mindset of a baby, right? Is that babies learn by doing and messing up and trying again, and as you develop, then you get better and better at the things because you practice so much. And we do have to take that mindset of a baby. When we're learning languages as an adult, we're much better off when we do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I love that. Well, good. Okay, so what do you feel like has been kind of the hardest part of being able to learn a new kind of way of pronouncing words, this process? Because you said I like how you said that, like, learning English is different. Working with an English teacher is going to be different than working with a speech pathologist, because you're working on that specific movements, the training, the pronunciation, like where your lips and tongue and teeth need to be. So it is a different process than learning English. So working with a speech pathologist is going to help you get that. What do you kind of think has been the hardest part of being able to do this process with the pronunciation?
The first thing, my mouth was sore. I didn't.
Yes, because we're working with those muscles in the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know my muscles could be sore, but they were. And the thing is that my tongue, I don't know about other people, but my tongue is always faster than my brain. And for example, when I want to say something, my tongue just pops the word out of my mouth. And then my brain says, God, you made a mistake. Stop. But for me, I think the most hardest thing to hold myself and don't talk before I start thinking about it. It's a few seconds, but you need to think. You need to put your tongue in the correct position. For example, I can talk about Russian speakers because I'm from Russia, but I'm not Russian ethnicity. In Russia, we have so many ethnicities and nationalities, and I have my mother tongue, but I start talking in Russian. And in Russian, we don't have TH sound. Mm-hmm. And for us, for Russian speakers, it's a bit difficult to say the sound. And you need to remember to physically put your tongue between your teeth and pronounce, this is the table or something like this. You just need to control yourself, control your tongue. This is the hardest one. And the funny thing for me, because I'm in Australia, American and British Australian pronunciation is a bit different. For example, in American, you say it's possible, but in Australia, people say it's possible. And I need to remember these little things because I really enjoy this open sound in American pronunciation. But sometimes, yes, in my speech, I think it's a mix of languages, of pronunciation, sometimes of languages when I talk to my friend Diana, because it's mixed Russian and English, usually. But the thing, what I realize, and it's through your program. I think your program helped me to build this confidence going through each step. It's not that I enrolled your program and I'm confident enough to talk in English. No, it's different. You need to go through this way. But in the end haven't finished yet everything what I want in your program. But when we stopped our lessons with Lori, I understood that I don't want to lose my accent. I don't want people thinking about me as of someone, I don't know, from America, from Australia. I love Australia. I love Russia. I love my country. I love my little republic from southern part of Russia. And I want people to ask me, where are you from? But they don't ask me now. I want to tell about my culture. I want to tell about my country. I want to tell about Russian people because it's who I am. And what I understood, clear pronunciation. I started learning English as an adult. I wasn't a kid, and I always will have my accent. But now my accent is my friend. I don't hesitate of my accent. I love it.
Mm.
But I want to be clear. Because, for example, my mother-in-law, she had not very nice experience with when she was sick, she went to a doctor. And she was so upset when she was telling us about her appointment. And she said, I couldn't understand any word. I just couldn't because of his accent. And I asked her, Mom, did you ask him? Can you repeat or write down for me? She's super polite woman. She would never ever say something like this, and she didn't. And I felt bad for her. And I thought, oh wow, I don't want to be doctor like this. I want to be clear for my patients, especially as a foreign person, because I need to explain. I want. For example, when I'm talking to you, if you need to think about what I'm saying to you, you're losing this thread coming from my speech, what I want to tell you. And this is the main thing, especially for dentists, for doctors, for teachers. So, for anyone.
I love that you bring that up because it really, and I appreciate that you have that you've integrated that feeling of, okay, where I'm from, I'm proud of where I'm from, I love my story, I want to talk about where I'm from, I don't want to lose my accent. That is a really good place to get, because then it's not that you're running away from your accent, you're running away from where you're natively from. We want to hold on to that because that's a part of you. But you're absolutely right that there is a need to be clear. You want people to be paying attention to what you're saying and not trying to figure out what you're saying, because the accent is strong, so strong that it's creating a barrier to communication. And so I love that you identified that and you said, I don't want to be that kind of doctor, in your practice with dentistry, and that you took it upon yourself to do something about it. And that is that personal power that we talk about in our confidence class, that it's like you have the power to change you, not anybody around you, but you have the power to change you and to do what's best for you. And as you do that, you create a better situation for yourself, because you're not sitting there in victim or blaming other people or making excuses of why you're not as successful or able to accomplish your dream. You're just saying, this is what I want, this is what it's going to take to get there, and you just go for it and you do the work. And I'm so proud of you for doing that, even though your mouth gets sore. That's fantastic. Good for you.
Thank you, Annie.
Yes. So tell me, I want to hear kind of what your goals, your dreams from here are. So you're going to you're going to pass this test because we believe you've been working hard and we believe in you. So you're going to pass this test, and then what does kind of the future look like for you, Karina?
Yes, I really believe in myself that I can do this exam. It's tough, but I can do it. And then I'm coming back to Pronunciation Pro to continue my work with Lori, because I want to improve. Yeah, I want to improve my pronunciation of so many words that I still can pronounce properly in a correct way. So I'll be working with my pronunciation. And my next level, I want to go to post-degree. I want to be a specialist in endodontist. It's about root canal treatment. So this is my goal in dentistry. Continue developing. I'm a fan of studying, of
That's amazing.
Working with our brain, and I believe that all our thoughts, they create our future. And yeah. And our brain needs to work. And actually the great thing what we're doing, we're learning the second language. We build this so many connection in our brain. It's one of the way to protect us from dementia and all these things, which is great.
Yes, and we believe very strongly at Pronunciation Pro, we have kind of a culture of lifelong learning, because the more we are using our brains, the more we're, exploring and learning, the better, and the better our lives will be to the very end.
Yeah, 100%.
Love that. Yeah, and I love the culture and the environment our students bring. The energy you all bring is absolutely incredible. Just doing such remarkable things, overcoming some major challenges, with your communication, with just coming to a new country, and all the adaptability that you have practiced and being able to navigate it. So I'm super proud of you, Karina, and everything that you have done and are continuing to do. And it'll be exciting to continue to see you grow with your future.
Thank you. Thank you, Annie, very much.
Well, thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us. I know it's going to be very inspiring for so many of our students. And we'll be thinking of you and excited for you to pass that test and to be able to come back, and we'll keep working with you here at Pronunciation Pro, okay?
Yeah, thank you, Annie. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, thank you so much for listening here today. We love having our Pronunciation Pro students come on the podcast and share their stories, because it's just so inspiring to hear about, those of you who are doing such incredible things. You're working so hard, you're overcoming some major challenges, and that's done most powerfully as you take control of yourself and you really you identify that, hey, if I want something, I'm going to need to do the work to do it. And having a support system like Pronunciation Pro can really help you reach those goals. So I hope all of you who are listening who aren't already members here at Pronunciation Pro will come join us. Go to pronunciationpro.com and you can do a 7-day trial and come join us. And we'd love to have you part of our community. All right, we'll see you next time and talk to you in our next podcast or within the Pronunciation Pro community. Bye.
Pronunciation Pro.
Pronunciation Pro.